Hey, what's up guys? We are back again for another Black Series review. We have got the long-awaited, I'm sure, Resistance Tech Rose from Hasbro. Probably my least awaited figure this year for this line, but she's new, gotta have her. She comes in a standard window box with some artwork down there on the bottom. There, not there. We got the name going down the side. She is number 55, and we've got a very, very little bit of a write-up of her on the back along with that artwork. So let's pull her out and take a look. All right, guys, so here is Rose out of the package, and her name is Rose Tico. I'm not sure why no packaging seems to give her full name. You know, it's just listed as Resistance Tech Rose, but, you know, just a FYI, that's what her actual name is. She's not just a singular named character. She does have a last name, like most people. So this is clearly not the figure everybody is clamoring for and rushing out to get. I mean, I bought her, but I buy stuff because it's new and exciting. And while this figure is new, she's really not all that exciting. And I have a feeling this is going to be, assuming they put her out in enough quantity, our next Black Series peg warmer. But that doesn't mean she's not a good figure from a technical standpoint, but we're going to find that out. So let's take a look at articulation, paint, sculpt, all that stuff, and see what she has to offer. So she is, as far as articulation goes, a standard Black Series figure. Head can rotate up and down. Not a whole lot of up because her head hits the back of her jacket, but a lot of down movement. Out all around for the arms, no issues there. We have a swivel and a single hinge at the elbow. The wrists are hinged vertically and they can rotate. We have a waist swivel, which also acts as a crunch, sort of. She gets a little bit forward and a little bit back. Legs can go out pretty much full splits. Pretty forward kick, about 90 degrees roughly. And then she goes back a little bit. Thigh cut as usual. Double joint, really tight double joint at that knee. It doesn't go back too far. Again, some of the sculpt is getting in the way. Those pants are hitting the pants. The ankles have a rocker and a hinge. So if you've had any Black Series figures, you pretty much know what to expect here. Nothing missing, but nothing extra either. As far as the sculpt and the paintwork on Rose here, pretty decent actually, especially in the sculpting department. This particular jumpsuit that she wears, I think actually looks pretty good. I like it. Her head and her face, not so much, but it's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's kind of run-of-the-mill for Black Series. But the flight suit that she wears, or like the mechanic suit rather, that she wears, looks pretty nice. It's got nice line work in it. Pouches and pockets are sculpted really nicely. We have got the belt on here with some canisters. She's got them on her jacket as well. We've got the sculpted hood that's pulled back on the back of the jacket. And it just looks like it's worn and you know, maybe a little too big for her, kind of baggy. And it matches, for the most part, the you know, production images that we've seen. The only thing that seems kind of weird is the coloring on this, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But as far as the head sculpt goes, to talk about that, it is run-of-the-mill for a Black Series figure. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's too great. I'm again, as usual, waiting to see what a customizer can do to bring out the sculpt with a lot of paint, because there isn't a lot on her. The eyes are basically just globs of white and black, so they're pretty basic and not too expressive, which is part of the reason why I think she's going to be, you know, a peg warmer. She's just kind of boring. So unless she's really cool in the movie, and, you know, we don't know that yet, I'm just not sure that people are going to be rushing out to get her unless they're just trying to get a complete set of figures. Paint-wise, on the rest of the figure, where there are little details, they do have clean paint applications. We've got the silver on the chest, we got some grays, we've got some tans, we've got some whites and reds, and then we do have some Arabesh on her jacket. It says GLD Landing Officer. I don't know what GLD stands for, but Landing Officer, because she's a flight mechanic in some capacity, as far as I know. So yeah, nothing too crazy. There's nothing bad here, really. It's just all very basic. And I mentioned there was kind of an oddity about the coloration of her suit, and it's not so much that I think it's wrong because again, I don't 100% know for sure if, something changes in the movie or what is or isn't consistent, but we've got 3 figures so far for Rose. This is a 5 POA, this is the super articulated black series 3 3/4 inch, and then of course the regular black series. But you can see they're all different colors. This one is kind of a mustardy, pea kind of green color almost. This is brown, and this is a lighter tan. So they're different. None of them are consistent. The only thing that's overall consistent is the design itself, which is good, but none of these match each other. And for another comparison of a different kind, we have got Rose next to Kylo Ren. Just to give you an idea of how small this figure is. She is a smaller woman, so she is a smaller figure in terms of just keeping with the 6-inch-ish scale that we've got. So Kylo Ren is, more than a full head taller than Rose here, which I think works out pretty well in terms of overall scale. And now as far as accessories goes, she has 2. We've already seen these in the other figure releases that we've gotten. She has got the kind of standard resistance style blaster that I particularly do not like the design. I think it's ugly, but this version has a newer paint scheme to it that looks a lot better. It's kind of a coppery with gunmetal accents with a lot of dry brushing on it that ultimately looks better, but I still don't like the design of the gun, although I'd say this is my favorite. It's better than the one that the first Finn came with and the Resistance Trooper, for example. And then her other accessory is one that I really don't know what it is. It looks like it could be a communicator of some kind, but she is also a mechanic, so it's probably a tool, but I really don't know. And there's no real way to know until we see what goes on in the movie. It's just an orange piece of plastic with some silver and black paint highlights on it. You can hold either weapon in either hand, but I find that the gun works better in the right and the whatever it is works better in the left. So at the end of the day, I think this figure is a good representation of when a figure can be a decent figure from a technical standpoint, but not be good because it's just boring. We have no attachment to this character, so I have no attachment to this figure. Obviously, I bought her, but that's because, I wanted to buy a new figure, and obviously I was going to do a review for her. But she's still just a boring background character to me right now. I don't know what she does in the movie. I know she plays a pivotal role, or at least a larger role in the film. But at the end of the day, she is a kind of do-nothing character right now in a generic outfit. And while it looks pretty decent, everything could always use more paint apps and more detail work to it. So she's just okay. And ultimately, I think we've got our next peg warmer on our hands here, and I don't think anybody's going to dispute that right now. So that is going to do it for this look at the Star Wars Black Series Rose Tico figure from Hasbro. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time, guys.